way.
In America, we do not reserve arts education for privileged students or the elite. Children from disadvantaged backgrounds, students who are English language learners, and students with disabilities often do not get the same enrichment experiences of affluent students anywhere except at school. President Obama recalls that when he was a child, he always had an art teacher and a music teacher. Even in the poorest school districts, everyone had access to music and art. Today, sadly, that is no longer the case. This comes from the U.S. Department of Education Security, Nate Duncan. And today I'm going to tell you why playing the tuba or the clarinet can help you to do better in school. Many of you may think that music is a waste of time and of money in our school system, and so I hope that you'll listen as I discuss the positive effects of music education. For those of you who already agree with the concept and idea of music education, I hope you'll also continue to listen, as I have some information that will hopefully be able to educate you more on the subject, so you might be able to help others understand the positive effects as well. I've always grown up playing some type of musical instrument or involved in a music education program of some sorts. In addition to my personal experiences in music, I've had the opportunity to do large amounts of research and to see different music programs and how they've worked and benefited schools. Today I will be talking about three things: the history of music education, the benefits of music education, and what you can do to further music education in your community. Now, the first time that music education was allowed to leave the church was around the Renaissance period. At this time, secular music thrived, and during this period, instrumental and dance music were first allowed to be performed in abundance. And this is according to the Music History and Middle Ages to Present journal, last accessed on July 8, 2014. Now, as far as music in the United States, it's not something that we've always seen. It was not very present in the colonial times, as work was the most important thing and music was put to the side. The first time we saw music in schools was in 1712, when the first singing school started. And this was done in an effort to improve church music. And then in 1836, Mayor Sam Elliott finally authorized music to be in public schools. Unfortunately, this advancement failed because there wasn't enough funding for music in education. Now, many people think that music in the United States is just something in the past few years that has recently become unfunded. However, as you can see, it has always been lowly funded or not funded in our public schools. Now, due to the efforts of Lowell Mason and his hard work to put music in the schools, finally in 1938, funding and money for music in the schools started to come about. Now, Lowell Mason's dedication to music earned him the Father of Music Education title, and this is according to the History of Music in the United States, last accessed on July 12, 2014. Unfortunately, his efforts did not further. As the Great Depression approached, music continued to decline in schools. Thankfully, due to his efforts, though, after the Great Depression, music began to thrive in the United States again, until about the last 20 years. The start of fine arts decline in schools in the United States began in 1982. Now, as it was at this time, it became common to see schools that didn't have music anymore for their students. Now, a local school outside of Detroit decided they were going to try and take a stand against this, as they'd seen the effects that music had had in their students and their schoolwork, and in keeping them safe. They tried to make it known to the public the effects that it had. They tried to raise funding for programs, yet unfortunately, due to the lack of knowledge about what music can actually do for students, it failed to thrive. Now, as you can see from this graph shows the decline of music over the last 10 years by showing the percent of 18 to 24-year-olds who received any musical education as a child. Now to know a little bit about the history of music, I'd like to tell you about the benefits of music education. Now, music education in our society is one of the largest business industries currently. It's part of every culture, and it's a universal way of communication. In addition to the ways it helps in society, it's also helpful in learning. It promotes study skills, communication skills, discipline, respect, cognitive skills, and a great deal of discipline. Now, according to the Journal of Research in Music Education, students in high-quality school programs, music programs, scored higher on standardized tests compared to students not involved in a music program. And this is regardless of socioeconomic level of the school or district. But in average, as you can see from this graph, students scored 20 to 25% higher in the four main subjects of math, reading, science, and social studies. A great example of this is through the Harmony Project based in Los Angeles. One of their students, Fatima, who before enrolling in the program struggled in school and was barely passing, and was not involved in a good community life, since enrolling has become a higher achiever and is in one of their violin classes, is doing better in school, and is involved in a great community program. Through her diligent practice, she has earned her way through private lessons and membership in the Hollywood Youth Orchestra into one of their most elite ensembles. In addition to these activities, during her past 2 years, she has taught private lessons, and she's become a volunteer peer mentor to many other students. She's now earned a full 4-year scholarship to Tulane University, where she'll be studying pre-med and being a member of their orchestra. See, many people think that involvement in music can lead to a tough life or no success, but just as you saw from Fatima, it can have a great deal of success in people's lives. It helps students to do better in school, to be more rounded, greatly appreciated by colleges, and it helps in the psychological, emotional, and spiritual benefits as well. So as you've seen the effects it can have, how can we help more students like Fatima to be successful in school through music? Well, the two main things that we can do are to help create awareness and become involved in your community's arts and music programs. It's important to know what programs are available in your community, as most music programs can be the thriving parts of many cities and help them grow substantially. Now, one of the many reasons that people don't get involved in their music programs is they think they're too expensive. However, most music and fine arts programs cost just as much as the typical sports or less, and in many cases cost just as much as many normal subjects. Now today I talked to you about how music can help you in school, but we also learned about how it can help in many other aspects of life. I've always loved music, and I've loved the effect that it can have in our society, and I've seen the effects in my lives and the lives of many friends and family members. Today we talked about the history of music education, the benefits of music, and the ways we can help music in our society. I hope that you'll take what you've learned today, and in response to this speech, become more aware of the arts and music programs throughout your community. Because I believe that music education can have a great impact in our society and community, and can help in different parts of life.
There's everybody.